So on the surface of it, this is karate versus Muay Thai, but really it's a bit more complicated than that because Yoza does a lot of weird stuff that isn't karate, and Superlek does a lot of weird stuff that isn't Muay Thai. But something important's already happened. That. Doesn't look like much, but the way that Yuki Yoza hangs his foot out after throwing a low kick is going to be really irritating. So we show a little example here. That. Throws the low kick, Superlek checks, leaves his foot out, Superlek stumbles. Now that's technically illegal in kickboxing. This is kickboxing, not Muay Thai. But it's a really nice way to attack the check when someone does the right thing and checks the kick. A lot of the time it doesn't matter, but sometimes you get the chance to kick them in the body when they're off balance. Lovely. And if you knock them over like this, that there is illegal. But quick breakdown with my telestrata. This dude here, the referee, the technique is only illegal if he takes a point. If he says don't do that, you've still done it. The time's still gone. You've just mogged on that other guy in front of the judges. He's just had to pick himself up off the floor. Rules is only rules if there's consequences. So we're talking about attacking the check because if you are fighting someone good, when you throw this low kick, they're going to pick their leg up and ideally turn it out into the kick. This is not ideal. As you can see, that's landing a bit further round on the side of Superlek's shin, heading towards calf kick territory. Yuki Yoza, king of the calf kick. He stopped Petchdam with calf kicks last year. Petchdam, a little bit long in the tooth nowadays, but he was a Rashid-Damnern champion. He knows how to check a fucking low kick. So the fact that the calf kicks are still working on him suggests that it's not just a case of like, you're not very good if you got calf kicked. But this is still bone-on-bone stuff. This is a real attempt to counter the check. Brings his knee to the middle and croissant kicks up the centre. Didn't get much of a landing that time, but that's the idea we're going to be working with throughout this fight. Another Yoza look here. Opens up his whole chest and leans back to throw a body kick or a leg kick on the back leg. That really throws people off. So here we are attacking the check again. Goes behind it, kicks the back leg. This here, kicking underneath the kick of the opponent. Whatever that kick is, whether it's a round kick, a teep, whatever, this leg is bearing all their weight. They can't check with it. They're also committing to their own action. They're not bracing down on it. If you're in the middle of throwing your own kick, you aren't thinking about your standing leg. Now, the reason cut kicks rock so much, in MMA I love them because you've got a great chance to get in a knockdown for very little effort compared to like what you would have to do for a takedown. In kickboxing, you're getting a free kick on someone who's normally too good to catch clean. And if I hadn't seen him do it like 100 times, kicking underneath someone's push kick, I'd be like, that's just coincidence. But he's so good at it. Constantly looking for that. That's what we're talking about. Not that one. This little one here. I just want you to look at how Superlek's knees move. He eats a hard kick here. He eats a relatively weak kick on one leg, and it buckles his knee out like that. And this gives us a chance to talk about the stances. If you look throughout this fight, Superlek often weight on the back foot, front leg very light, ready to pick it up and teep to the hip crease, which we'll show in a minute because it's a great move. Yoza, despite favouring kicking with his lead leg, almost always 2 feet on the floor, on train tracks, weight in the middle. This one makes checking with the lead leg a little bit easier and teeping a little bit easier. This one makes throwing a short cut kick off either leg at whichever leg standing there much easier. Oh, beautiful. Another good one makes Superlek's leg go. Another one timed underneath makes him fall down. And we'll talk about this knee that Superlek was looking for throughout the fight. And it did give Yoza some trouble early, but it does open this opportunity here for the cut kick. And towards the end of the fight, you really get to see how much this takes out of the legs of someone even as experienced as Superlek. Look at that. Jumping knee. throws his switch kick, eats the cut kick. Well, his foot was almost back on the floor, but man, that's got to hurt. Beautifully timed, and an illegal trip on the end. This is the other disadvantage of fighting on the back foot. You have to step onto your lead foot quite obviously when you want to throw that round kick with your back leg or a knee, and it's been making catching that standing leg a little bit easier for Yoza. Actually does a little step back here into his left kick, which we'll get into in a minute. He does a lot of rhythm stepping into his kicks. And a totally illegal trip, and Superlek's head bounces off the mat. Now, like I said, that's all on this dude, Olivier Coste or whoever's reffing. In these kickboxer versus Nakmuay fights, normally the Nakmuay will use the clinch and knee them and throw them. So you've got to cheat your ass off, because otherwise they will. This one he manages to time under a little side kick that Superlek was throwing back. Misses. And another one. Man, look at that. So like I said, it looks like it's just happening, but if you go watch his fights with like Taiyo Asahisa, he does it all the time. Taiyo Asahisa throws 100 front kicks in that fight. And Yoza keeps timing the low kick under the front kick. Or through the front kick, like his knee will knock the front kick offline and he'll kick the back leg. There's loads of times he doesn't get them. There's loads of times that he eats the front kick and the kick doesn't connect on the back leg. But when he connects on the back leg, it either hurts the guy or drops him, which is fantastic. I said I was going to talk about attacking the hip crease and the gouging knee and Superlek's knee, but I think we'll go with this and see if one take it down, and then I'll do an episode 2 later. But I've written loads of things about Superlek and Yuki Yoza on my Patreon. Go check it out if you fancy that stuff. Cheers!